Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 2 of Let's Try Drakensang, the River of Time, aka Drakensang 2, Phileasson's Secret. Bong bong, mashallah. Hope you guys are doing great, having a good time. We're going to play some more in character creation, so just a slight warning for you guys. This is not going to get into gameplay most likely. We are just checking out character creation, going through what all the stats and different things do. I'm going to skip the intro movie.
Unknown adventurer
if you want to see that, guys,
otherwise we would
check the first video, pause this one and go back and watch that one. We're going to continue looking at the classes, the archetypes, the races, mid and Realmians, and stats and stuff. So we went through all the talents last episode. So if you want to see that again, pause this video, go back and check. We went through all the base values, all the attributes, and stuff like that. So today we looked a little bit at inventory. There's a lot of slots, and you can see what each class comes with. And you can right click and check out the stats as well. So we're going to get into combat talents. And look at each of the melee and ranged weapon options. So we've got daggers. This category includes all bladed weapons used almost exclusively for piercing and almost never for parrying, with a max total length of half a pace. These weapons run the gamut from simple knives to dirks. Almost all daggers have a straight double-edged blade, and I won't get into the special attacks available just yet. Fencing weapons are slim weapons designed almost exclusively for piercing and are just under a pace in length. They usually have ornately decorated hilt baskets, parrying bars, or intricately turned cross guards. They are elegant, fast, and are considered by some as extremely modern and by others as ridiculous fops weapons. Axes and maces. This category includes all those one-handed axes, hammers, and maces that do damage primarily through force. All these weapons are particularly well suited to denting armor and breaking bones. The max length of such weapons is about a pace, the maximum weight about 3 stone. Anything above that counts as a two-handed weapon. There's very cool sabers. In contrast to swords, sabers are used primarily for slashing and rarely for piercing. Unlike swords, they usually have only a single-edged blade, perhaps with a sharpened tip. This weapon category encompasses everything from short cleavers to elegant cavalry swords. Then we've got regular swords. These are bladed weapons with a total length of half a pace to 1 1/4 pace, at least 3/4 of which is made up of a double-edged blade. While swords are designed for hacking and stabbing, their cross guards also permit more sophisticated defensive moves. You've got spears. With this type of weapon, a short blade is attached to a long shaft, whereby the blade is usually suited to both thrusting and piercing. This weapon category includes all types of pikes, halberds, and the spears of primitive races. Spears are two-handed weapons and cannot be used in combination with shields. Then there's staves. A simple wooden staff, 8 spans in length, can be an extremely effective weapon in the hands of a master of the art. Most fighting staves are not, however, simple wooden weapons. Instead, they are specially hardened, reinforced with metal bands, or even fitted with blades at both ends. Cannot be used with a shield. Two-handed axes and maces. With this type of weapon, it's important to bring the heavy and sometimes sharp striking surface into contact with the target with great force and precision, as the weapon's handle does next to no damage. This weapon is not designed for piercing or jabbing, and its parrying capabilities are extremely restricted. Cannot be used in combination with a shield. Two-handed swords. This talent covers all particularly long-bladed weapons that are designed predominantly for thrusting. They are two-handed weapons, a fact that is apparent from their particularly long handles. They are, however, also adequate parrying weapons, even though these actions may take somewhat longer to perform. Cannot be used with shields. And then brawling. This is the skill of defending yourself without using weapons. Instead, straight punches, swinging blows, and backhanders are used. In this type of weaponless combat, parrying is replaced by dodging. It's pretty interesting. Then we get to ranged weapons. The crossbow. They're a dwarven invention and basically resemble a bow mounted horizontally on a central post. They are propelled by tension sinews or mechanical springs. Crossbow-like weapons have a tiller, a trigger, and a drawing mechanism and are fired by aiming at the target and pulling the trigger. The string locking mechanism absorbs the strain, enabling the marksman to take long and careful aim. This also tends to make this weapon's reload time longer. Ammunition takes the form of rigid bolts with various different attachments, or in the case of ballistas, stone or metal balls. We have bow. Bows are the weapon of choice for the inhabitants of steppes, deserts, and meadows, which is why elves and orcs, meadowlands, or Meadowians and Novades alike are known for their bow skills. The size of these ranged weapons ranges from the compact short bow of the Novades to the Meadowian longbow. Of course, the correct handling of bows and arrows requires both strength and practice. And throwing weapons. While knives and daggers are the most popular throwing weapons, not every knife or dagger is suitable for throwing. Only specially balanced weapons, which usually have particularly light hilts, can be thrown. Throwing stars and axes are also included in this category. And again, we can move them more towards offensive attack or more to parrying action, base parry. And we'll get into this when we create our character, but right now we're still looking at stuff. Then there's special skills. You must actively initiate melee and ranged combat capabilities in combat by directing them at a target. They cost endurance points. Defensive skills give the hero permanent benefits and do not cost endurance points. Every hero can learn these from trainers who require money and adventure points for passing on their wisdom. Right-clicking on special skills will tell you more about them, most importantly the weapon category to which they belong. Okay, so let's check this out. We've got melee skills, range skills, and defensive skills. And it looks like if we click each one, we can see them all. I'm not going to get into all this, actually. You guys could, when you play, or when we play and actually make a character, these are going to be more important to us. And we'll check them out. But they're basically buffs, and, you can see that they give you different bonuses to different things, or even special abilities. You can knock people over, blade flurry, blade barrier, and so on. So we'll get into that more when we create our character. Then there's spells. Here you'll find all the spells your hero has learned along with their values. Spells you have not yet learned are not listed here. There are a great many of them. They can protect either the hero or the party, or can either heal or cause damage to enemies. Increase your spell prowess by adding points to the spell's value, and drag the icons down to the quick slot bar in order to have them handy in battle. Remember, it's not possible to cast spells wearing metal armor. So there's a ton of spells in the game. We may actually go back, and let's just really quickly look at like a battle mage and go to spells. Yeah, you can see they start with even quite a few spells. I'm not going to go into every one unless we decide to play a magic class or we get a magic companion. Then there's recipe book. This is the collection of all the recipes and instructions you've learned in the game and is shared by the whole party. On the right, you'll find all the recipes you have learned. Clicking on them will bring up a display on the left of the following things: the recipe's description, ingredients, and some stats such as quantity or number of TP and the appropriate talent needed. If you find an object which is labeled as an ingredient, there'll be a recipe which uses it. Click on labs, workbenches, or anvils in the world to make new items. Note that you can find recipes and instructions as well as buy them from merchants. So there's alchemy, crafting, blacksmithing, bowyer. Very cool. So I think that pretty much covers everything here to a level that I'm pretty comfortable with moving forward on. Let's take a look now at the classes. I think we only got as far as the archer. By the way, the warrior has a melee bonus, which we'll get into the bonuses and penalties if we actually pick the class. So we left off at archer. Soldier. Only the soldier knows what it's really like on the battlefield. Experience has taught him how to handle many different weapons, and where others would go down in defeat after a few scratches, the soldier is far from finished. Equipment advantage, vitality bonus, rapid healing. And these are all the Min and Realmians, these three. Although this culture is Grecian. A little more civilized, as it were. And the archer gets judge distance. Okay, so let's move to the next race, which is, we're still in Mid and Realmians. Well, we're into the magic classes. Battle Mage, the Andergastian Combat Training Course graduate, loves to show off his skills on the battlefield instead of sitting in dusty libraries. When his fire magic doesn't do the trick, he simply makes the enemy's weapon rust. Bonus to Astral Energy, obviously a magic class. Then we have Healing Mage. Anyone can destroy, but no one is as good at tending wounds or healing poisoning than the Healing Mage. As the private student of a renowned magician, he also knows how to use many battle magic spells and has a broad range of knowledge at his fingertips. Rapid Astral Energy Regeneration, Heal Wounds bonus, range combat penalty. Charlatan gets the farthest not with the naked weapon, but with illusion and clever deception. Whether he uses his magic, his nimble fingers, or trenchant words is immaterial as long as he achieves his aims. Good looking. Social bonus, endurance penalty. So a good social class to play who also has some astral energy and some magic, which is nice. You can see he's pretty skilled in the social skills. And even has a few spells, which we'll get into later. Let's look at the next. There's still Mid and Realmians, but now we're in the culture of Grecian. The Battle Mage was Andergastian. Mid and Realmian Healing Mage, and Grecian Charlatan. Then we have Grecian Rogues. Survival in the alleys and back streets of cities is a high art, and the rogue is a master at it. No one is better at persuading others or finding out where you can fence your loot best. Also good looking and a seduce bonus, no magic though. The Burglar, not only are locked doors no problem, they are an incentive. The more clever the traps are, the more challenging the obstacle, the greater the motivation it is for the Burglar to engage in the Phyleasson contest, and he usually wins. Horasian Culture, Agile, and Pick Lock bonus. And the Thief, also Horasian. The redistribution of a stranger's coin purse content into his own is the thief's profession. No money pouch is safe from his skilled fingers, and as master of the dagger and throwing knife, he also knows how to deal with dissatisfied customers. Dexterous, pickpocket bonus, arcane lore penalty. And now we've got a new race, the Ptolemine race. Monadastani, Elementalist. No one can resist the power of the elements, and the Elementalist is their master. He can send out a jet of flame or create a zone of freezing cold, but also cover his own skin in a sheath of stone. Rapid Astral Energy Regen, 38 Astral Energy with 6 resistance to magi or magic. Determines whether the hero is easy or difficult to enchant. Alright, we know about that. We've got the Meta Mage, who is no body, but also a Ptolemine. An initiate in the higher arts of magic, the Meta Mage can send skeletons to fight his opponent and perform more other powerful magic. The Nobody comes from a proud desert tribe and is not familiar with the customs of the Midden realm. Alchemist, also Monadastani. The alchemist can make potions and salves of all kinds, which can help friends and hurt enemies. As a scholarly Ptolemine from the legendary land of Monadastan, he has a command of several useful spells and can haggle expertly. It's the alchemist. Then we have a Thorwallian, a pirate. The Thorwallian is a rough and hard-drinking fellow with his heart in the right place and a gift of the gab. When wielding his axe and shield, he is considered one of the most dangerous fighters in Aventuria, and not only when he is sailing the seas as a pirate on a dragon ship. Willpower bonus. What did the alchemist get? Alchemy bonus, rapid astral energy regen, slow healing. The Meta Mage is intuitive, high resistance to magic. Astral energy is a 9 resistance. Okay. And he's got a willpower bonus, the Thorwallian. Then there's the Tribal Warrior, Yalskerlander. Yalskerland is an inhospitable region in the high north whose gigantic inhabitants are considered to be unrelenting barbarians. Their customs are rough, they understand nothing about etiquette, and where the Yalskerlander strikes a blow, no grass ever grows again. They're enduring, insensitive, naive. Interesting, though. And all of these can make for very interesting characters. Amazon, a strictly female class. Young women are trained to become fearless servants of the war goddess Randra. Their discipline and combat skills are legendary, and they place great value on cat-like elegance. Just like their role model Randra, the lioness, they get equipment advantage. They're brave, but they're naive. No magic either. And now we're on to the elves. A Leia elf. Ranger. The male Leia elf knows how to utilize nature in such a way that he can live in harmony with it. His sensory acuity and unique magic make this outstanding archer a peerless hunter and tracker. Endurance bonus, nature talents bonus, and elven worldview. Spellweaver, also a Sylvan elf. The Spellweaver leads his people to search for new or lost knowledge in strange lands. He has a great many useful spells at his disposal, and as a Sylvan elf feels at home in even the deepest and most inhospitable forests. 36 astral energy. We have a fighter, an elven fighter, combines speed and magic in a unique style of combat. If he gets into a state of bloodlust and increases his physical abilities magically, he becomes an unparalleled spear thrower. A Leia elf, endurance bonus, agile, astral energy penalty. Still has astral energy though, and elven worldview, which may be a bonus or bad depending on the situation. Now we've got dwarves. This is an anvil dwarf, mercenary. The dwarven mercenary is a strong and tough fighter, so it's not difficult for him to find a warlord to hire him. There's hardly any suit of armor that can withstand a blow from his mighty axe, but he has nothing but contempt for puffed up blowhards. Social talents penalty, but strong. Anvil dwarf sapper. Dwarves have always produced the most skilled craftsmen, and the sapper counts as one of them. His passion is blacksmithing, but he also knows how to pound his enemies into shape with his smithing hammer if necessary. Blacksmith bonus, tough guy. Range combat penalty. I can imagine tough guy is both a plus and a minus, a hindrance in some cases. Then prospector is always on the lookout for new places to prospect. He has mastered the art of survival because he's always on the move outdoors. He's especially good at always keeping a watchful eye on his surroundings. Can judge distance, danger sense, vitality bonus. Then we've got the Geode, Anvil Dwarf. The Geode sees himself as a protector of nature and master of the elements. Thus he has a command of many healing or elemental spells. The dwarves regard him as something of a loner, and among humans he has a reputation of being an odd duck. Rapid astral energy regen, nature talents bonus, but naive. 33 astral energy, and 8 resistance. And that is all the races and classes. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to be, but say, I want to show you guys this. If we click this button, it resets and puts you at the base level of everything and gives you appropriate points to spend in the class skills as you see fit. So that's a cool way to build the character. And if you just hit cancel, it goes back to this where they're already filled out for you. But we can build our character specified to how we want. I played Drakensang 1 as a charlatan. It was very fun, but I'm trying to think if we could do something a bit different this time. Last time I played Drakensang must have been about a decade ago, but I did get to the end game of the first Drakensang game. Never finished it, sadly, but I did get to the end game. It was a huge LP on my own channel, but maybe we'll be something different. Let's see what the Meta Mage has to offer if we reset. He's got plant lore, treat wounds, arcane lore, fast talk, human nature, perception, willpower, sneak, 35 astral energy, and we can even set the bonuses and penalties, which I guess if we take disadvantage, it gives us points where more leveling points, we can get other stuff and better advantages, so that's very cool. We'll get into that in a bit. Maybe, not sure if we'll get into it in this episode, but I wanted to check the spells on the Meta Mage. Let's look at some of the spells. Fastness of body. The caster creates a magical protective shield over his or her entire body that increases his or her natural armor rating. This armor rating applies in addition to the rating provided by his or her armor. Lasts for 300 seconds. We're not going to get into all the math and stuff, but the effect is AR, which I guess is attack rating, +1 plus modifier. I don't know. We won't get into that. Attributio cleverness. The magician calls for mystical aid from the astral plane in order to increase his or her cleverness for a short period of time. Regardless of type, only one attributio can be active on a character at any one time. 300 seconds. 7 astral energy, I guess. Here we have Constitution, Attributio, same idea. Now those were attribute spells. There's some combat spells. Corpa Frigo, Cold Shock. This spell suddenly removes all the warmth from the target's body, considerably lowering his or her combat stats and attributes. Very cool. For 15 seconds, and all those stats go down 4 each, so that is pretty powerful. And these have levels that you can raise. Like if we reset this, you know, we can spend points raising these levels as well. Let's head back in. And Ignifaxis, Burst of Flame. A stream of elemental force shoots from the spellcaster's hands. A lance of fire and light hit the targeted opponent. Opponent catches fire, 1 damage point per second. For every 10 damage points, the opponent's AR is reduced by 1 for the duration of the spell, which SP times seconds, which I guess SP being spell points? I don't know. Light in the Darkness, special spell. The magician uses his or her astral power to capture ambient light and bind it into a sphere above his or her head. That's awesome. Replaces a torch. Freeze your hands up. Summoning, Skeletarius. This spell enables the magician to harness the forces of darkness to raise an undead assistant. For 1 minute, awakens a skeleton whose power varies according to the modifier, which is your level. Interesting. Master of Animals, a domination spell. Used to calm aggressive animals and render them docile. If the test is successful, the animal will fight for the caster for a while. The test is made more difficult by the animal's RM value. 1 minute duration. 7-point cost. What is RM value? Resistance to magic, yeah. So that's what they start with, and yeah, that's a thought. Meta mage. I haven't played a mage in a Drakensang game, but I haven't played a dwarf either, or someone just big and tough. I've just played a charlatan. The elven classes are interesting. Let's see what they look like. 31 energy, 24 vitality, 34 endurance, 5 resistance, endurance bonus, nature talents bonus, elven worldview. Let's check elven. Oh, we can't check elven world. Oh, yeah, we can. Elves have difficulty acquiring the below listed talents and suffer a penalty of 2 points accordingly. These points contribute directly to the hero's base value and are not taken into account when making subsequent modifications. Seduce, etiquette, haggle, and fast talk. So look at this animal lore, plant lore, survival, traps. Very skilled at that. Some perception, some sneak even. And if we hit restart, we can see we also get disarm traps potentially. So that's an interesting class. Spellweaver leads his people to search for new or lost knowledge in strange lands, has a great many useful spells at its disposal. Elven Worldview, rapid astral energy regen. Capable of channeling large amounts of astral energy, can quickly regenerate their reserves of astral energy. Lore bonus. The hero is especially gifted in all lore talents and enjoys a bonus of 2 points to the following. All of them. Treat poison, treat wounds, arcane lore, and streetwise. But an endurance penalty. The hero is easily winded, resulting in an endurance penalty of -3 points. And if we remember endurance, it's how often a hero can carry out special abilities in combat before fatigue sets in. The endurance rating decreases faster than vitality, but it also regenerates faster. The more endurance a hero loses, the slower it will be regenerated. And we've got those skills, some nature skills. This is the Spell Weaver, and we can check, has Feint. A deceptive strike in which the attacker shifts the angle of attack in order to slip past the opponent's guard. A feint reduces the defender's armor value and hinders them from parrying. 13 endurance cost, parry -4. AR, what is AR again? I don't see it here. Armor rating -2, yeah, that's what that is. And combat training, not much, 1 in daggers. We can change that. If we reset, we can spend some of our XP here. You know, maybe make him pretty good with sabers or even brawling. You know, we can do all that when we do make our character. Right now, we're just kind of looking. Eye of Eagle, Ear of Lynx. The target's entire perceptive faculty is strongly increased. The amount depends on the result of the test for 300 seconds. Oh, it gives perception +1. Fastness of body, armor rating +1 plus modifier. We know what that is. Thunderbolt combat creates a targeted wave of magical damage which cuts right through all regular armor. The target suffers damage. Light in the darkness, Balm of Healing. Depending on the number of astral points used, this powerful spell heals wounds and injuries. 2d6 +2 times the modifier. Vitality regen +1 until next hit. Critical wounds cannot be healed. The modifiers. SP. What is SP? Spell points? Speed? Spell points spent, I guess, yeah. I don't know. But it's a healing spell, a helpful paw summoning. An elf summons an animal to assist him. This animal will remain at the elf's side and assist him or her in combat. If the animal's vitality points sink to 0, it will disappear. Effect summons a more or less powerful animal depending on the modifier, which is your level. And it shows what each level summons. Wow. Giant mire beast, giant crab, giant scorpion. That is awesome. Awesome spell. And Meek You Be, domination. Allays an animal's aggression, temporarily preventing further attacks. It's made more difficult by the animal's resistance to magic. If the test is successful, the animal is appeased. That's an interesting safety spell. No recipes available. So we can trick these characters out however we want by hitting this reset leveling points. Like, these are just the base stats. We can really get funky with it and, you know, change how the character works in a very strong way. Yes, it costs leveling points, but I mean, we can do what we want with each of these characters pretty much. So that's a Spell Weaver. The Elven Fighter is interesting. Endurance bonus. Agile. Astral Energy penalty and Elven Worldview. Nice 5 resist magic. Still has decent endurance and astral energy. And much of the same talents. Agile. Hero moves elegantly and smoothly. Enjoys a bonus of 1 point to their agility. Not bad. The game is starting to lag again. It's just because it's been OBS has been giving me this problem. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to try to upgrade it or something. He's very skilled already. If we take the base character, with weapons. Combat abilities, he just has Fate and Dodge 1. Here with the special abilities, learn to move more effectively in combat and can dodge most attacks instead of parrying with the sword or shield. Dodge value +2. 150 leveling points. Attribute agility, Ice Cold Warrior. The elf is plunged into bloodlust. His armor rating and willpower are increased and he ignores damage up to the value of this magical armor rating. Once the spell is over, he will, however, suffer all the damage which has been done to him as well as all the wounds he's received. Still very cool. 60 seconds. Wounds are ignored for that time. So a few spells, plus he can learn more as the game goes on. Let's look at Sapper. They said he's a blacksmith. Can pick locks, disarm traps. If we go with the base version, this is just the base model, like, wow, 17 constitution. Like the base of what the class can be. Oh, he's got stuff. Caltrops. Explain how to use rusty nails to make caltrops, which can cause injuries to enemies' feet if they come in contact with them. 1d6 plus 3 SP, and test on an opponent's willpower or victim is knocked down. Nice, so we can do that. He comes with that. And my mouse is really lagging badly now, so I may cut the video a little short. Let's see, what would we like to be, is the question. It's such a massive game that I want to make a proper, good choice. Geode is interesting, if we go with the base again. Dwarf Nose. I hope we get a dwarf as a party member if I don't pick Dwarf Nose. Let's see what he comes with by standardly here. 2 axe and maces, 3 in staves, which is cool, 2 brawling. But yeah, my mouse is really getting useless now. So I'm going to say thank you for joining me, guys. Next time we'll pick a character and ooh, look at all the spells. And plunge into the gameplay, most likely. Or at least build the character and move from there. So I hope you guys found this video enlightening. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. And thank you so much for making it this far. And I hope to see you guys in the next one and beyond as we plunge into the gameplay, as I mentioned. And we start checking out this massive, I'm trying to give it the aura and the attention that it deserves. That's why I go through these long episodes of like a lot of character creation and inventory management, stuff like that. I really like to get deep into things, especially in RPGs like this. I'm still liking the Charlatan though. I love all those social skills. Plus we can give them pick locks. Anyway, also guys, if you really like what I do here, you can become a member. Info and links are in the description of the video for that. Feel free to check that out. Shout out to my members. Because of you guys, I'm able to buy like 1 extra indie game per month, which I really appreciate and I'm grateful for. So thank you guys for that, for being members. And until next time, guys, be well, live well, stay well. Much love, peace, and joy. Hopefully, with OBS lagging like this, we can figure something out. Or maybe it won't happen during the base game as we play. But anyway, God willing, more to come. Catch you guys next time. Ciao for now.